All right. Good morning. I'm gonna get some gloves on. And we're gonna pull the cylinder head off of the midget here. Um, it's got a blown head gasket right back here. If you can see all that charring on the back, left corner there of the video, that is exhaust leaking from the engine. So whenever this thing would run, it would be loud. It would sound like there was no exhaust on it. It'd be like bah, 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 like a race car, but it's not a race car because it's a very tiny little engine. That charring, that black charring right there in the center of the screen, that's from a blown head gasket. It gets super hot back there in general, so I'm not surprised. To make sure there's not a lot of damage. I've already prepped this a little bit, so you'll notice this void here, this kind of vacuum. That's where the exhaust header goes, the inlet manifold, and the carburetors normally are. I've already pulled the distributor spark plug heads off and everything. I've got a few more things to tidy up here before we can actually start pulling stuff. You'll notice that I've still got some of the emission controls on, and there's still coolant in this tank. So I have to pull the coolant out. It's going to be a disaster, a huge mess, so that'll be fun. All right, let me get some gloves on and we'll get started. Let's do the sit. So I'm going to pull the rest of these kind of emission control features off. So this, what this does is this scavenges kind of any vaporized oil or any kind of gases that may escape from the engine block here that don't make it out through the exhaust. It comes up through this little hole here. A lot of people close this off. Honestly, it doesn't affect performance at all. So I leave it on. It's fine. It's like original. It goes into this canister, which is just off screen. Let's see. So it goes into that canister there. It's just a charcoal canister. It's just filtering out the crap that comes through here. There's another line here that feeds through to the carburetors. So the carburetors also have that, so any fuel vapors also get seeded through there. It's called emissions control, but this is a 74 model. It's prior to the really extreme emissions controls. And it's not a California car, so it doesn't have a lot of the California regulations in it. I'm going to remove this line here. I'm probably going to get wet, so I'm going to grab some blue towels, but I'm going to loosen it up just a little bit to see if I can. Alright, so you have a little bit of fluid coming out. Just going to come in here with a blue towel. Just kind of clean it up. So this is the heater box assembly. Coolant actually feeds into the heater box. Air comes in through this side and pushes the hot water, the air over the hot water, which pushes it into the cab. So I'm going to remove the piping from here and get this off real quickly as well. Alright, I'll loosen this up a little bit. A little bit of coolant left in there. But down in here is the lower return pipe. It comes from the engine. It actually feeds in. So the radiator takes it from the top here, pumps it through here, pushes it through, and then it feeds down here back into the engine block. I'm going to pull that off and just get coolant everywhere. I'm going to get a pan, put it in the bottom. I'll grab that pan. So I'm going to use this to catch all the coolant. It's probably not going to be big enough. It might just be big enough. I'm going to slide this under the car, kind of position it. Just right around here, actually. Okay. I'm now going to unscrew this lower turn, and I'm just going to have it drain out. It's going to kind of get everywhere. Coolant is draining. Everywhere but in the bucket. Perfect. So you can see it now behind me, right in here. That's the coolant draining out of the radiator, reservoir, and the engine block. I totally missed the bucket, of course.
Never thought that we'd go this far. Don't stop now. Reaching for a distant star. Don't stop now. Isn't it strange how we're safe at home? Today counting days until the second go. If you're gonna make a change, you have to let me know. Turn the shit around, start at top of yours.
Oh, they're really on there. Let me check the order for these bolts. Some of these things have a specific order you need to take them out on. There we go. Okay. So the first one looks like it's going to be here. This will be first. I'm going to need to get a raise extension. That's one, and then two is on the inside. Okay. When you're an amateur, it's best to check. Check twice, break once. No, this is going to be too tough for this. Let me get a breaker bar. Most amount of leverage. Here we go. All right. Once you've got it kind of cracked, you can move back to a ratchet if you so desire. It's really up to you. And what I was afraid was going to happen actually happened. These threads and studs aren't actually welded into the block. They're actually double threaded, which happens a lot when I take these cars apart, is that when you unscrew it, you won't unscrew the bolt on the top like you're supposed to, or like you imagine would. You actually unscrew it from the engine itself. There's a second thread here. This is okay. I'm going to replace every single one of these studs. If you're going through the trouble of removing this, remove and replace all of these kind of parts. They get warped, they get tired out, they get thread stretched, a bunch of stuff like that. So this one, you can see the screw has been painted over so many times it's just kind of like glued effectively to the bolt. This is the first one. So the second one to remove looks like it's going to be this one, my best bet. Same thing, breaker bar. I'm going to put it on here. I'm going to set it up so that's going counterclockwise, anti-clockwise. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to support the center piece here so it doesn't torque and twist. I'm just going to pull until... All right. That loosens. This one right here. Same thing. You're going to line it up, get it in there. Now these come off a little bit easier for me. This one doesn't. Alright. I'm going to show you how to get a little more torque on here. So, what you're going to want to do is grab some piping. It's got a hole in it. This is a metal pipe. I'm going to slip it over the end of my handle here. I just got a little extra leverage now. And, with one hand, I can easily turn this die now. So if you're having trouble getting these off, leverage. Science works in these things. Like, you can't deny physics and science. There we go. Cracked it. Now this is the same deal as before. The whole rod's coming off here. And I know this rod's coming off because I've taken it off several times. And you can see here, that dark soot That's where the combustion's escaping. It's right around there. It's kind of that white charring there as well, super hot flashes. That's how I discovered the leak in the first place, is when I started digging around in there. Again, 4 for 4. Full stud comes out. Not surprised. All right. Let's see what we got. Oh, it's heavy. You have a friend. Use a friend. I just noticed some things real quickly. First is the temperature gauge is still attached. I need to remove that real quickly. I don't like having this thing suspended off of the ground like it is. Okay, I feel better now that it's sat back down. Thank you. Alright, let's get this bad boy back off again. Heavy, 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 heavy. Alright. Freedom. Some of the push rods came out. That's okay. I'm going to set this down. Woo! That's it. The head's off the engine. Holy cow. What we're left is what you'd expect. This is the engine block. So I'm going to grab the camera. I'm going to show you exactly where the problem is. If you see right here, see that little brown trail that leads to the screw hole? That's where the gasket blew out. That's exactly where the scorch marks are on this side. You can kind of see how the explosion would leak out there. Now if you look on the rear here, right there, see that channelway, that causeway? That's where the gasket blew. There's a break right there in the gasket. And as a result, it's leaking. It's like super well done. There we go. So you can kind of see it separating here. See that break? That's it. That's where it blew. That's been the cause of my troubles and the reason why I can't drive my car around. So we're going to peel this off. They're going to resurface everything underneath it. Do a real quick inspection, make sure everything is good to go. And that should be it. In a week, when I get the head back, we'll put it back on the car and we'll fire it up and see how it goes.